Now let's learn how to classify epithelial tissues, how we distinguish one type of epithelial tissue from the next. So the first type of classification we do is really simple. It's just how many cell layers there are in the tissue. If there's one layer, we call it simple epithelial tissue. If there's more than one layer, we call it stratified. Strata means layer. So stratified just means it has layers. It might be just 2 layers, but even if it's just 2 layers of cells, still stratified. So here we have flat cells, 1 layer of them. This would be a simple epithelium or epithelial tissue. This one, we have several different shapes of cells, many layers of each one. These are all stratified tissues. The shape of the cell is the other way we're going to classify the tissue. So first is squamous or squamous cells. I like squamous because squamous cells are flat. So squamous is like squashed. So that works for me. It actually comes from the Greek word for fish scale. And I guess if you look at these from the top, it's kind of the shape of a fish scale. I don't know. I don't fish, so, and I'm not that familiar with fish scales, but it works for some people. Anyway, so if the apical and basal surfaces are wide and the lateral surfaces are short, then it's a squamous cell. If it's kind of cube-shaped or roundish, or the apical and lateral surfaces are about the same size, then it's cuboidal. Oid means kind of. So it's like a cube, but, kind of cubey. Not necessarily exactly cubey. And you'll see what I mean in just a minute. I'll show you some examples. And then finally, the last kind is columnar, meaning that it's shaped like a column. So the apical and basal surfaces are narrow compared to the very long lateral surfaces, okay? In all of these cells, we generally see the nucleus, usually kind of in the middle. In a lot of columnar cells, the nucleus is going to be toward the bottom, more at the basal surface of the cell. So when we put those together, then we can get the different kinds of tissues. So if we have 1 layer of squamous cells, then that's simple squamous epithelial tissue. 2 layers of squamous cells, stratified squamous epithelial tissue. Your epidermis, the top layer of your skin, is stratified squamous epithelial tissue. And it's actually lots and lots of layers of squamous cells. So in the next section, we're going to look at a bunch of examples of these tissues and figure out how we can distinguish one from another.